Good Monday morning, everyone. Let's make Monday the greatest day of our week. Let's be as happy as this guy. Yo, let's get it. So, I'd like to introduce a new segment into this awesome show, and it's going to be called Home Run of the Day. Oh wait, got to get the pop. There we go. So if you're gonna win in your cash games, GPPs, whatever, you have to get home runs. That's kind of a law of the universe, man. It's about as true as the law of gravity or anything else. Because getting singles and doubles and RBIs isn't gonna do it. So we analyze how to pick our pitchers. We analyze how to get our home run hitters. So I started talking about plate IQ. Coffee's great. Plate IQ aggregates all this data in a really, really cool way. So I'm just going to jump into the player I like a lot. So Bartolo Colon, I'm sure a lot of you know him. He's in his 40s somewhere. He's like the ageist wonder. He still manages to pitch his pitches okay, but you know, I mean, he's declining, and Texas is really afraid to kind of make him a starter, but it looks like he will be a starter. I should probably just verify that real quick. Yeah, so he is starting. He's pitching at Oakland, you know, it's definitely a pitcher's park. Check out the weather, you know, always take weather into consideration. Okay, it's kind of like average temperature, and there's a little bit of wind blowing out, which is good. So if we look at Mr. Colon, plate IQ is cool, right? Because it shows you where his frequency of pitches is. So if we look at what type of pitcher he is, he throws the fastball a lot, the four-seamer. Velocity is not so great, but he also throws the sinker. Notice there's not much change in that velocity there, but between these pitches there is, and you want that, you know, 8%, I mean, 8 mile an hour difference, because that's what kind of throws hitters off. But if you see that he's primarily a fastball pitcher, you know, he's living on the edge. I mean, damn, like 85% of his pitches are fastballs. So who I really like tonight is Matt Olson. So against the fastball, he has an expected WOBA of 453. That's insane. Even more impressive is this ISO of like 394, right? If you have an ISO of about 200, you have a decent chance to hit a home run, right? So this, I don't know, this just screams that something good's gonna happen, right? And he hits a lot of fly balls off that fastball. We also have to check the fastball sinker, because that is the more popular play, right? For sinkers, you are gonna hit ground balls, but you know, his WOBA and ISO is still really, really good. So, I mean, the high over under in the Vegas too, we see it, there's 9, you know, that might change. Oakland is also favored, blowing out. I mean, that's what we want, and his price is okay. He's fairly priced, I think, at, where is he? There he is, 3,500. So, yeah, so, you know, that's my pick. I think every day we should try to kind of analyze hitters we like and just make that part of our process. Here, let's look at where his ISO is coming from. Okay, so down the middle, you know, he's gonna smash that ball, which is weird that Colon throws down the middle like pretty often, the second most frequently. He also hits it there, damn, so he's getting good ISO there on this corner too. I mean, even though this isn't red, having 400 ISO there is insane. He doesn't hit the high so much. We can check last season, I mean 2 seasons ago too, just to see if anything changed. And I mean, you have a lot of overlap. Oh, oops, that's Joyce, my bad. Olson. Yeah, I mean, you still have a lot of overlap, so he looks really, really good. The other player I like is, I think Smoak had a good night last night too. Lopez is not so great. Just checking if, see, it's a doubleheader. No, I mean, they're favored 9.5 over. I think his price is pretty good too. We could have checked there, but we'll just check here. Smoak. Yeah, 33 is good. I like that. So let's look at him. All right, so this is from 2 seasons ago, but we'll see. So his ISO, I guess he likes the high fastballs, you know, down the middle. I mean, it's hard for anyone not to be a good down the middle hitter, but man, I mean, he locates in a very, very bad place far too often. And look at this pattern again. He's a four-seam fastball pitcher. You can't live by that pitch. You know, it's just too difficult. You have to mix in your breaking ball as well, and he doesn't really have breaking balls, right? Just a changeup and then the knuckle curve. So let's look at him. His expected WOBA is freaking through the roof. His ISO is huge. He does hit some. Oh, oops. Okay, good. We always check that. Anyway, so his numbers went like even higher here. His ISO is still good. Yeah, so he's hitting 75% fly balls off that. You got to check all three pitches just to make sure kind of it lines up there. So again, he's hitting 70% fly balls. That's great. His ISO is wonderful. That's awesome too. And then just check the knuckle curve. There, if in the scouting report it says that just always throw the knuckle curve to him, then he's kind of just going to get walks and hopefully he can lay off that. But there's kind of a big discrepancy here, which means he might have to. He probably is going to regress this way, which is what we want. That's kind of weird. It's pretty low. I mean, hitting that pitch is hard, but he does get it up into the air too. And then we also see his well hits percentage is at 11.3, which is good. I mean, I think above 10%. It's just kind of a metric that I'm using, and I'm kind of going with it. Let's see, with Bartolo, he's at above 10% too. So if we compare it to someone who's pretty good today, like the guy for Houston, no, not Tillman, also Fade Tillman today, his well hits is at 7.2, and he's primarily a ground ball pitcher. So that's my thoughts on that. You know, we've been working with Fantasy Nerd a lot, right? Because this I don't know, kind of data aggregation is cool and whatever, and you know, we start the day by looking at the pitcher Sierra. The problem we keep running into is this is really off of last year's data. So we want a more complete picture. Go to Fangraphs. Guys are going to be using this page a lot. It's freaking awesome. It tells you everything you want. Just make an account, because then you can really customize your dashboards. But anyway, if you go to scores and go to probable with pitchers, it gives you a lot of information all in one place too. But here we can right away just always change this to 10, because they'll have players here who, like hitters who actually had to pitch, right? Because their bullpen got used, which is just freaking hilarious. And then also change the multiple seasons to, let's make it kind of 2 or 3, so we get a better picture of what's going on. You know, you can rank it by FIP here or whatever. Since I like Sierra's under advanced. We go there and we kind of see who are the bad pitchers that we want to target. So there's Lopez. So for a Toronto stack does look pretty good. I also suggest Fade Tillman. Tillman got hurt last year. He tried pitching through his shoulder pains. Like, his delivery looked horrible. His velocity went down. He has a lot to prove, and there is no reason to trust him, especially going into the World Series champions home stadium. Yeah, he's gonna be in for it. So I think a Houston stack will be kind of popular, but it's the right play. Man, this 4.9 is just really, it's bad. It's very, very bad. Ben Lively too. You could kind of fade him too, but you know, this stacking against him makes a lot of sense. And then also look at Colon. You know, 4.2 is the bad Sierra range, so being below that is just, man, easy. His batting average on balls was where it should be, right? It usually should regress to 300. So if it's like far below 300, or if it's high above, like for this guy, he's been getting unlucky with some hits. So realize that will regress. Let's see what else. Also, something to talk about is always try to keep the weather in mind. Weather has the biggest impact in baseball as compared to like all other sports. So you want, you know, wind out. Make sure you tell yourself at the beginning of the season, you know, it's still early enough that, you know, if you see at least like whatever your number is, if there's like a 20% chance of rain, that you're gonna fade that game. You have to either fade or play it. If you're not sure and you're kind of really in the middle, and then you like fade the game, but then they play, you're just gonna get upset at yourself, and that doesn't help anyone. You know, it's really kind of a waste of time thinking like that. So just be binary with your decisions. Be like, you know, if you're playing GPPs, you're like, yeah, I know it's going to be low, so I'm going to play those people from the rain. But remember, they're very careful with like the rain, because they don't want their players to get hurt. So that's pretty cool. What else should we talk about? Also for today, Matt Harvey. I know everyone loves him. Like I'm not really particularly a fan of Mets or anything, but Matt Harvey is kind of a good pitcher. He's shown to be pretty good in the past, but players that are coming back off of injuries and didn't pitch well kind of in the last year, they're people you should be targeting for probably GPPs more, but you could also make a good cash game, you know, argument, because pitchers need to be consistent. They are the most consistent part of baseball as compared to hitters. So, I mean, fading them doesn't seem so bad to me. Who to target? You want these high WOBA players with high power. So, you know, this guy pretty much hits a home run every day. Herrera, he put in work in the offseason, so he's doing aight. For stacks too, I think Cleveland's in a really, really good spot. JC Ramirez is not very good, so you see that 4.3. Here it's even worse. His walk rate is low, but he doesn't strike that many people out. Man, the average is okay. Just think, I mean, Cleveland is just such a good team. I mean, Clevenger looks like he's in a good spot. But I mean, this top, is so good. You know, Lindor, one of the greatest hitters. That might be an exaggeration, but Edwin's really good. Yonder is at a great price here, especially on Fanduel. You can match them both up there. Kipnis put a lot of work in on the offseason to get back to where he was, and he's got a huge differential between the pitcher's ISO and, you know, his own, which is what you want. So just some things to keep in mind, and you know, I hope you guys smash it today. I was going to leave you guys with a quote, and I forgot to prepare this before the show. Here's the quote, which I love so much. He says, "Get the fundamentals down, and the level of everything you do will rise." So if we apply that to kind of daily fantasy, the idea of just stacking, and when you stack well, can make a big difference, right? So here I just threw a quick lineup up, but I took the power from every team and just stack them, right? I think the best stack is really a 3-3-1-1, just because you are gonna have those kind of value plays that you need to use, or you have that like one chalk good hitter who's in a great spot that you just can't fade. But here, you know, I took a lot of the power from Houston. You know, Altuve's not in just because, you know, he has a good kind of on-base percentage of WOBA. You know, Kipnis, he's getting there. Edwin hit 2 home runs yesterday, of course. And then both of these guys, like Lively, he's got a lot to prove too. So just work on your stacks, right? Stacking, if you're just stacking, that's great. But then notice in your stack, are you using, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4? Are you using, you know, 3 power hitters and 1 guy that can steal? Or are you putting in 2 guys in there that just kind of single or get walks, and they're not really helping your stack very much? So work on stacking well. Work on kind of researching your pitchers and picking people that, you know, have very high K rates, right? That's what we're looking for. You know, Charlie's in a great spot today too. You want players that have that high K per 9, because they're gonna be saving you a lot, right? That's why Clevenger looks so juicy today. Oof, that is very bad. Man, his Sierra is high too. That's weird. So getting all these fundamentals down will give you kind of returns in the long run. So, you know, just keep at it. Keep doing the best you can. And I guess the final thing I want to recommend for everyone too is, you know, write down your goals. You see here, I underlined my goal. I just want to do a 3-3-1-1 stack for power hitters, and I just want to be confident. Because before you submit your lineup, do not, I repeat, do not click on this green button unless you are sure that you love all the players in your lineup. Because the hardest part of DFS is really the psychological part. If you make some lineup and, you know, instead of Cespedes, I'm forced into some corner where I'm playing some crap player that I don't like. Damn, Shinsu's at a great price there. Like Rene Rivera. I'm like, I don't really want him, but I mean, I'm kind of happy. And you enter. After you submit your lineup, the night's over, you miss cashing, you're going to be pissed at yourself. You're like, man, oh, I knew like Rene wasn't a good play, but you know, you still put him in. So when you write down your goals like I do, using a stack with power hitters, this guy's not a power hitter. Easy to take out, just do it. And pick someone else that you like. Because if you're submitting lineups that you don't like, you're not confident in, then you're wasting your time. And you have the ability to change it right now, so. Alright, this video has gone on long enough, so good luck everyone. Let's make it happen. Write down your goals. It's going to help a lot. Strong fundamentals. We the best. Good luck, guys.